Welcome to the Mild Opinion Podcast. I'm Luke.
Logan.
And today we're talking about some movies that or franchises, TV shows that we feel are overrated. And as a disclaimer, we're not saying necessarily that these are all bad or that you're like dumb or stupid for liking them, but I think we both just hit a point with certain movies, shows, franchises where we're like, that is overrated for a certain reason or other. And we did one episode a while back that was about underrated movies or shows that we felt like didn't get enough appreciation. This is more so giving ourselves a chance to just bash on some stuff a little bit. And if you disagree with us, that's okay, but we're going to bash on it anyway. So why don't you hit me with your first pick?
My first pick. This one is kind of, I guess it's not that bad. So my first one, it is an enormous franchise, and you can go movie by movie or franchise, doesn't matter to me, because I kind of feel the same way about all of it. Huge budget, stunning visually, huge director, all of it. I don't care. I think the Avatar movies are way overrated because you take, this idea that's pretty cool, and then you take this massive budget, and you take, stunning visuals that took, a million years to work on, all that. And I commend the hard work. But then the movies themselves, I'm like, it gets to a point where I'm like, man, this is kind of boring. It's getting a little repetitive and boring. Like, I don't really care that much about, what's going on in the movie, to be honest.
Yeah.
Especially because they're all a million years long, too.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, I'm not that interested.
See, I think this is a movie franchise that if I had watched the first Avatar when I was a kid, I probably would have appreciated it a lot more. But I only watched the first Avatar a few years ago because I was like, oh, it's that movie everybody's always telling me is a great action movie. And it's like a modern classic. And it's not even a bad movie. Like, it's very straightforward. It's about these aliens trying to fend off humans from their planet, and they've developed the technology to basically jump your consciousness into one of their bodies to infiltrate them. And I watched the first one, and it was like, yeah, it's good. It looks awesome even to this day.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good enough premise, and the characters are likable and whatnot. But it definitely is overhyped into oblivion. And the weird thing is like, even before the second movie came out, James Cameron was like, oh, I have like my script ready for like number 5 and 6 ready to go because people love it so much. And it was like, guy, you only have one movie out, and now it's taken 12 years for you to come out. I don't know how many it was actually, but 12 years for you to come out with the sequel. And I still haven't watched the sequel, I'll admit to that, but from what I've heard, it's kind of along the same lines. Like, it's not crazy or anything. And same with the third one. Like, they all sound very predictable.
Yeah.
Just with a different skin.
And that's, like I said, like, I'm not saying these are bad. I'm saying this is about overrated, not whether they're good or bad.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, for as massive as these movies are, and for as popular as they are, everybody knows what they are. You know what I mean? Everybody knows it's... Avatar is a household name in terms of movies. And, like, that's fine. But, like, if you're not watching it, and just being like, oh, yeah, like, I admire the work and the creativity and the visuals and all, it's kind of just a pretty regular, boring premise with a pretty regular, boring story.
Yep.
Not anything crazy's happening. You're not going to get blown away by the storytelling.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very fair to say. I will at some point watch The Way of Water and probably Fire and Ash if I like Way of Water, because I think it would be cool visually to see like their ocean world, because it would be wild looking, just like their above water world is. But I don't know why that movie. Well, I mean, it was just a big technologically wow movie when it came out. My first pick. This is also a very like beloved franchise, and I won't say it's bad, because I didn't dislike the one that I've seen of it, but I don't know why it's so big. Is the Despicable Me franchise, and like in tandem the
I had that on
Minions
my
franchise.
list. I had it on my list.
I've seen the first two Despicable Me's, and they're good. Like, they're fun, and they're funny, and, like, the premise is enjoyable. It's like, it's the bad guys, and then there's this guy who has all these little, like, gremlin-y yellow minion men who speak in a funny language and get their own spinoff. But I think a new Minions movie just came out.
Yeah.
I just don't know why it keeps being like Minions, and why that has caught so hard. Because I liked the first two, but I don't love them from that. And I saw them as kids too. I don't. As a kid, I don't know where it came from.
Yeah, well, that's kind of why I had it on my list, because I was thinking about the new one that just came out, the new Minions movie, and I'm like, dude, between the Despicable Me and Minions franchise, altogether, there's like, I don't even know what, like 8 movies or something like that now, like getting close to like 10 movies, and I'm like, dude, I get it, like it's fine, like they're easy to crank out too. I mean, just keep pumping them out one after another. Find a stupid story for them to do, and like keep running it through, whatever. Like it's not a big deal, but it's just like, dude, how have we gotten this franchise to like almost 10 movies?
And it's the main reason it bothers me so much is because I don't set Despicable Me apart from the other movies of that caliber or like for that audience, so I don't know why this specific one like exploded. It's iconic, sure, with like the Minions and Gru having the hunchback and being having the like funny sinister voice, but like it's on par with these equally iconic movies that could also do with a million spin-offs of all these iconic characters, so I don't know where it's just popping off with this one if you took the same budget and applied it to another franchise within that vein. So that's just my main confusion with that.
That's kind of where I'm at with that as well. But I was thinking about that one too. I'm like, man, I don't understand what it is about this that just grabs people's attention. But
yeah, what do you got for your next pick?
My next pick, this one's gonna be a little controversial.
All right.
I would like to premise. Don't get mad at me. Okay, I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying it's overrated, and that's fine. Okay, and I like this one. Me and you both like this one. I know we do.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's incredible. I just think it's a little overrated. And wait, I'll give you my reasoning too. That would be The Office. I think The Office is incredible. I love it. I think it's hilarious. Whatever. But 99. If you go up to any person between the age of like 20 and 30 right now, you're like, what's your favorite comedy show? Office. Without even a thought.
Yeah,
Office.
a lot of people say
Office.
The
amount of people who quote The Office, like, and I'm not saying it's bad. I never said it was bad. Yeah. I'm just saying everyone knows The Office. Everyone loves The Office, and that's fine. It does deserve its praises, but the sheer amount of people whose default is just like The Office, not even a question. I'm like, there's so many good comedy TV shows out there. Like, explore your horizons. Yeah. Like, there's also, sorry, I don't want to keep going off.
Fine.
But also, the other reason is that there's like so many shows I know people have not watched, and then they'll be like, oh, I'm on my 11th rewatch of The Office. And I'm like, all right. Like,
this is why I contemplated putting The Office on this list, because I thought I came very close to it. There are people who, and it's so many people say I finished The Office and then like round it back right to episode 1 and just will keep going through it like that. And that I don't understand. I also love The Office. Like, it has like so many funny characters, and I love Michael Scott. I think he's so funny, but I don't love it to that capacity of like, all right, I just finished, gonna go right back. That is the only reason I say it's overrated.
Yeah, because that's kind of where I'm at. Like
also, the last season, apart from the finale, not great. But, so I don't even think that's like a crazy thing to say is that it's overrated in that regard. Other than that, I would say it's fine that people love it that much because it is very funny. Yeah,
it's very funny. It's fantastic. Yeah. The characters are all likable, whatever. I'm saying it's overrated in the capacity that just the sheer amount of people who, wouldn't even skip a beat saying it's their favorite show. And that's fine. If it is that many people's favorite show, it's fine. It doesn't matter. But just the sheer amount of like the like super fans, like insane, like, oh yeah, like in my 15th rewatch of The Office all the way through. Like, why?
Yeah.
Like, it's good, but like, dude.
I've watched it a few times, and it's always enjoyable to me, but I don't think I could just keep going through it over and over.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
The people who say that are the people who haven't watched, like you said, like a million other shows that are fantastic.
Dude. Watch, That 70 Show, Seinfeld, something.
Yeah,
I don't know. There's a bunch of other good shows out there.
Even in that regard, like, go watch Parks and Rec or something. There's a lot of workplace comedies that are funny like that, you know? Well, I'll jump to my second pick for a movie. And this one, I have like some very specific reasons for it, and I will not by any means say this is a bad made or like poorly made movie. And I think I can find stuff to enjoy watching it, but I've seen it twice now and I don't understand the hype that much. And that's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, the Quentin Tarantino movie. Mm-hmm. It is, you can tell without watching it, it is very well made. Like, in terms of filmmaking, the acting is awesome. It has great character like character moments, and like it just kind of throws you into the full feeling of like Hollywood and like the 70s and the style and everything. It's very impressive, and you get nothing but that vibe watching the movie. But I don't understand the endless hyping of this movie, because it's good. I don't even have a proper way to describe it. It's not what people say it is. People act like it is the greatest filmmaking achievement of all time. There's so much stuff that's iconic in it. It has a lot of great actors, and you can tell it's big budget, well made, good acting, great dialogue. Mm-hmm. It's just, that's it. Like, there's not anything to that for me when I watch it. And I watched it when I wasn't very educated on the Manson family, and then when I rewatched it, I was like, okay, I get what's going on now. But the first time I watched it with my parents, and they were having to explain to me, like, oh, this is Charles Manson stuff going on, and maybe that makes me an idiot or something. But I feel like I had to have a much stronger base of knowledge of what the Manson family structure was apart from Charles Manson to fully appreciate that being like the main bad guy force. And what was weird to me about that is that movie has like two stories to it that don't really impact each other that much. So it's like watching two movies back to back that are the same movie at certain points, and then at other points just kind of fizzle out into their own way, and then only one of them really finishes. Yeah. So it's just odd. I don't really know what more I can say about that. I like Quentin Tarantino movies. I would never say this is a bad movie. I think it's just a little overhyped. Yeah,
well, I kind of agree with that. Like, in all facets, like, great cast, great dialogue, very well made, you know what I mean, this, that, and the other. And I, when I had watched it, I had known, like, what it was talking about. So, like, I kind of understood a little bit more. But even with that, like, it's cool, like, it basically is just about, like, that time frame and then, like, Hollywood and all that. Like, that's what it's about. And you have, like, your whole, who is portrayed to be, like, kind of like Easter egg characters, stuff like that. Like, your whole, like, Bruce Lee character and stuff like that. And, like, all that stuff thrown in there and, like, okay, cool, whatever. Yeah, like, basically kind of just, like, throwing little tidbits in there, like, oh, this, that. Like, kind of getting, like, setting the scene a little bit of, like, how it is. Like, that's fine. But, like, all in all, even knowing what's going on, like, what's talking about, I'm like, the story itself in the movie, I'm just like, I mean, I guess, like... Yeah. It's not going to blow you away. It's very well made, but, like, the story itself is just, I mean... It's not going to, make you rethink your whole life after you watch it. You're just going to be like, oh, yeah, sure.
I will say, it is very, as with all of his movies, it is very Quentin Tarantino. Yeah. Like, beginning to end. So, if you can find something to enjoy out of Quentin Tarantino, it's definitely, like, it's still worthwhile to watch. Like, I'd rewatch it and enjoy it.
For sure.
It's just, I think it's a little bit overhyped.
Yeah, for sure.
What else you got?
Well, I guess I'll go to my other show. I'll ride the coattails of what I've already started. And you can be mad at me for this one. I don't care. This one, whatever. It doesn't matter to me at all. So, in all of those other comedy shows that I was talking about, I was like, oh yeah, like you could watch Seinfeld, and that 70s show, and this, that, and the other. You know what show I did not say? Friends, because Friends is bad, and I don't like Friends. If you like Friends, that's fine. I've tried to watch it a million times, and I don't get it. And I watch a lot of stupid shows. You know what I mean? Like It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia is ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like to me, Friends was silly in a bad way, to where I'm like, I don't care. I don't care what you people are doing.
Yeah.
The humor is just not hitting me like that. Like, and there's some people. It's on the same kind of, tier as The Office, where if it's not The Office, it's Friends. And I'm like, I don't get that at all. Because for me, The Office is like, crazy good.
Sure.
Friends, I mean, I can't even sit through it. And I've tried before because I've listened to the hype. I'm like, you know what? Sure, maybe. It's boring. It's just boring, dude. I don't care what these people are doing.
It definitely is one of those shows that takes some breaking in. I think I probably appreciate it a little bit more because I've watched more of it throughout the years, and I think it's left a little bit more of like a growing impact on me, where like I'll come back to it and I'll be like, okay, I'll enjoy that a little bit more. But I will say, as a Seinfeld fan, as that's the one that I grew up with, I feel like it's like Friends or Seinfeld, and then there's other like sitcoms in that vein. Like I will always take Seinfeld over Friends, like, and that is a show that literally states as itself that it is about nothing at all. It's about people's daily lives and getting annoyed about stupid things.
The thing about Seinfeld though is that like, and you can kind of put this in one of my favorite shows of all time too, like that 70s show. It's about nothing, and the comedy is stupid and ridiculous. But to me, they do it in a way that's like, all right, like. That's funny. It's a funny situation that they'd be put in. Like, the way that they're going about it's funny, whatever. With Friends, it always just seemed like, oh, mild inconvenience. Let's just be ridiculous about this. And that's not, I don't know. I mean, that happens the same in, like, Seinfeld, like that 70s show, but I feel like they've done it better. Friends, I'm just like, I don't care what's happening. And you can and also, the entire show, which I know this happens in a lot of sitcoms, stuff like that. But I feel like every time I watch Friends, they're either in the apartment or they're in the coffee shop, and that's it. Nothing else ever happens in Friends. They're just there talking about whatever's going on, and it's just, well, whatever.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think I do have a bit more of appreciation because over the years I watched some of it with my brother a while back, and then my girlfriend likes it, so I'll watch it with her sometimes. So I think it's grown on me, but I definitely have episodes where it'll be on, and I'm just like, the laugh tracks keep going off, but I don't know what they're laughing at.
Yeah, I don't know what they're saying.
Yeah. But yeah, I will say that in the same regard as The Office, I know there's a lot of people who, those two shows, those are their two shows where it's like, I'll watch Friends and The Office and nothing else.
Yeah.
It's like, just expand your horizon a little bit.
The Office, see, compared to Friends, I will give The Office all of its flowers.
Yeah,
so if you're going to do with anything, just watch The Office.
Yeah.
Don't watch Friends.
The Office is great. Yeah, I will jump to my TV show pick, which I don't think you've seen any of this. You've probably seen clips of it. But I watched 4.5 seasons of this show, and it still never grasped me why this show gets so much hype and gets like, oh, that show is like the greatest show of all time, which is Yellowstone. I really, really gave this show a shot, and I don't even have an interest in finishing it. It seems like a person with a city life who has a daydream about what kind of like the ranch life would be like if there was like a twinge of mafia-ness to it. And then bullfight or like bull riding and stuff. It seems like somebody's fantasy of what this would be like. And while you're watching it, this is my biggest gripe of watching it. It feels like they'll introduce an interesting tidbit, like about somebody's past or something, and then it fizzles into nothing, and then they'll spend so much time on some character that has absolutely no impact on anything at all, and then it's like, oh, Kevin Costner shows up and he like walks into this person's office and like smashes a glass table or something and then leaves, and they're like, wow, that guy is stone cold. And then they're like, oh, but back to the ranch, and the ranch hands are at it again, and they're riding their bulls, and they're drunk until 3 a.m. Then they get up and hard work. They maybe kill a guy here or there. It's such an incomplete thought to me while I'm watching this show. And yeah, I don't really, the best way I can describe it, it feels like somebody's fantasy about being in the mafia at the same time as being a Minnesota ranch hand.
Yeah.
And then also at the same time, they're like, but we're going to have this completely unrelated story about becoming a bull rider that doesn't actually have anything to do with the story over here. And I will not finish this show because it was 4 seasons straight of, here's something interesting that we might pursue, but here's 20 minutes about this character that has nothing to do with any of it. So it just annoyed me.
I'd seen a thing once where somebody was talking about it, and they're like, yeah, Yellowstone's a show for people who have no idea what it's like being country or any facet of country living at all. And I was like, you know what? When you put it that way, that makes complete sense. And then other than that, it still sucks. So
I don't have a good grasp on what it would be like to grow up country or live in the country like that. But it feels to me like if I went to a bar that is centered on the country, run by like a 21-year-old who's like, put on your cowboy boots and throw on like country music and then puts on like the poppiest country in the world. That's what that show feels like.
Yeah.
So it's just, it just really rubbed me the wrong way. What else you got?
All right, this one. This one's not too bad, I don't think. I feel like as time has gone on and more of them were made, people started to see the vision. But that would be the Michael Bay Transformers. They're fine movies. But some people hold them in insanely high regard.
Sure.
Which is fine. They are well made stuff. They have huge budgets and all that. And there's a lot of iconic stuff from them as well. But I feel like as time has gone on, it's just like, man, these movies getting kind of lame.
Yeah, I actually have only seen the first one of those. I've seen so many clips and memes, like so many memes of like the main character like crashing out and stuff. And I know there's always like an insanely big transformer or something that shows up in the next movie or whatever. But yeah, I could definitely see that. It kind of felt like, from what I understand, that it kind of got to that part where they were like, oh, we should just get as many people to sponsor this movie as possible. So we're going to have a scene where somebody is like, just like, give me a Bud Light. And then they drink like an entire can of a Bud Light on the screen. Yeah. Instead of actually, let's make something special out of this Transformers movie, you know?
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of it too is like, it got to the point in the franchise where it's like, instead of focusing on like a good story, like what's happening, it's like, let's just keep throwing cool stuff at this for the sake of being a giant mech action movie. So, I mean, they're fine, but it just, the story kind of declined and the budget and stupidness kind of skyrocketed. Similar as how it did with like Fast and Furious.
Sure.
So, I mean, whatever, but yeah, that's pretty much what I gotta say about that. If you, with that one, if you agree, you agree. If not, then you're brainwashed. Michael Bay has brainwashed you.
Yeah. All right. I have 2 movies left. The first one I'll say, this one is not overrated in sense of like a general sense, but it is overrated by its own fan base, which is the Snyder Cut Justice League. It's better than the theatrical release Justice League. I won't say that it's a bad movie, but in terms of building a superhero universe, it's still way too soon, way too dark, way too gray, and the moments that are exceptional from that movie are not strong enough to lift it up into something as special as some people try to claim that it is. Um, I think it has some great, like, very comic booky moments in it. Like, there's the whole scene where, like, Flash saves the world, and it is super cool to watch, but it just, in watching it, it's like, it just has that gray hue to it where everything is desaturated and everything has to be, oh, it's so dark, it has to be so dark, it is so scary. And I think over time more people have looked at these movies and been like, okay, they weren't as bad, but also more people are looking at them and are like, maybe it was not the greatest start to begin with. And I'm not saying it didn't have potential, but it really, that whole universe had a hard standing thing, and I don't think the Snyder cut, had it been released, would have been strong enough to keep it going any further than the other one would have. So, to its own fan base, the Snyder cut is overrated, because there's people now who, like, anytime a new DC thing comes out, like the Snyder fans are like, oh yeah, it sucks, like it's nothing like Snyder. And it's like, dude, it's been a long time. Like, come on. So that's the one I'll say.
And I mean, comparing the theatrical release to the Snyder cut is kind of like comparing your trash bin to your recycling. One might be a little better than the other, but at the end of the day, they're both kind of trash.
They both had the same problem, because people act like, oh, it's the weird CGI stuff with, like, Superman's mustache, and it's like, yeah, that's ugly, but it doesn't have the staying power that you need to make it an iconic Justice League.
No.
It just is not. So, yeah. And it didn't feel like the Justice League. It felt like we're going to gather who we can to save the world before it destroys itself. And instead of being the Justice League, we're a ragtag bunch of dark, brooding versions of who we are. Yeah.
It kind of felt like they took one of the largest superhero franchises of all time and somehow made it to where the characters were almost unrecognizable.
Yeah. What else do you have left?
I got one final franchise, and I love it to death, and this one hurts to say, but they're still making movies now, and it feels like it's kind of fell from grace from where it was, especially compared to the other one. And you'll understand this in a minute. But that would be the Alien franchise. It had its time in the sun, and now it kind of feels like it's kind of fizzling back down, because it's either, no matter if they're well made or not, it's either always the same, like the same kind of thing every single time, or it's just not good. It's boring. And what I was talking about compared to the other one is it feels like everything with, like, Predator that's still coming out kind of been knocking it out of the park. Like, only good reviews, all that. And I feel like Alien stuff's kind of just...
Yeah, I didn't see that most recent one, Alien Romulus. That's what it's called, right?
Yep.
Romulus?
Yep.
And I know that one got, like, exceptional reviews, but I don't... With them taking horror stuff and turning it into TV shows, I know Welcome to Derry was, like, great. Like, a lot of people loved it. But unless you're taking a full swing with that and putting as much careful storytelling into that as possible, it's not going to work. And I feel like that's kind of the vibe I got from Alien Earth.
Yeah.
I think they need to stay on a very, like, strict path with Alien stuff of just, like, full force into one movie to make it as successful as whatever Romulus was, and stick to that.
Yeah.
You know?
Alien Earth, I feel like, is just not necessary. Completely not. I think that was the wrong step to take in terms of franchise.
Yeah. Well, I'll finish on my last movie pick here, and this is like a classic movie at this point, and this is the, like, mother of all film buff movies that always comes up in a conversation as, like, the greatest movie of all time, is The Godfather. When I was in college, I took film courses, and on my first day in an actual film course, I walked in and there was a guy who was like droning on and on and on about how The Godfather is like the greatest movie ever made. And I'm not saying this is a bad movie because it's like great. It is a great movie, and you can understand why it is classic, and you can watch it and enjoy it. And if it's your favorite movie, that is fine. If you think it's the greatest movie of all time, that is fine. The reason I'm saying this movie is overrated is because I feel like it is such a fallback answer for people of saying it is the greatest movie of all time. And I feel like people use The Godfather as just a vantage point to look down on other movies. Like, oh, well, yeah, it's great, but it's no Godfather. Yeah. It's like, I don't believe that this movie is as many people's favorite movie as they say.
Yeah.
Which is not to say it's bad, because it's awesome.
Yeah.
It's very well written, and like for the time it came out, it is something else for that, and it has one of the most like iconic sequences in a movie of all time. It is so co-opted into like film bro kind of talking, like we're two dudes sitting on a couch talking about movies whenever we do this. This movie, I don't believe that so many people who are building it up even know what they're talking about. So that's what bothers me about it, and that's why I say it's overrated.
Yeah, and I agree. I think it's incredible also. I mean, I love it. It's, a fantastic movie. But it's just the most stereotypical film bro movie ever. Oh, what's your favorite movie? The Godfather is the best movie of all time. Whatever. And, for the time that it was made, that is partially what makes it even more incredible. But at the same time, I'm like, there are so many, like, thought-provoking, like, really gets in your head, like, take time to sink in movies. And I feel like in terms of stuff like that, and that's not the premise for what makes a great movie or not. But in terms of best movie of all time, like, it's opinion-based, like, whatever, it doesn't matter. But for that being, like, such a stereotypical one to name, I'm like, it's very straightforward. There's, iconic parts and all that, but I'm like, the greatest movie of all time is a, straightforward mob movie.
It's to a point where if I hear somebody say that The Godfather is the greatest movie of all time, if they're explaining it, why it is, it needs to be not what you hear everybody say about it, because then I'm like, I feel like you just heard somebody talking about how much this is the greatest movie ever made. If
I ask somebody what their favorite movie is and they say The Godfather, I immediately kind of just tone out. I'm like, okay, well, it could be if you want it to be, but that wasn't the answer that I was looking for. Sorry.
Yeah, and that's a shame, because it is a great movie, and in terms of filmmaking, it's excellent. It's just I don't believe it. There's a certain level of insincerity that I get from that movie. Well, not from the movie itself, but from the people who build it up into this unstoppable machine. Yeah. But yeah, that's all my picks. Do you have any more you want to touch on?
Nope, I think that's all for me. I do have one little sidebar. And, whatever. If I was dogging on anything that you like, movies, shows, whatever, you can like it. I don't care. I just don't like it, and that's fine. Some of the stuff I did, I was a little harsh. I did say someone was bad. But some of the stuff, I'm not talking about being bad. I'm just saying overrated. It's about being overrated.
Disagree with us. Yes.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't care. Just that's all. That's all I need to know.
Yes, disagree with us and all day if you'd like to. But yeah, that's just stuff we feel is overrated, and obviously it's not all without reason or just like, oh, it feels overrated. Like, I feel like we have pretty decent reasons as why we feel that way. But yeah, I think that about does it for us today. So this has been the Mild Opinion Podcast. Thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you next time.